Well, I've tried to follow this scandal or confusion for a while, and I'm still perplexed. So please excuse some unfortunate rambling because it is very confusing. I will give a very short intro to Anomaly. I will have to assume people know who basically the EFAP is as a podcast. It's Mauler, Fringy, Rags. It used to be Wolf, but he's no longer active. He's still around, but he's not as active as before. And of course, SK and Southpaw. If you're not aware who these people are, already done a few videos, you'll have to go through them to get the basics. But essentially, a while back, Anomaly and SK and Southpaw had a big tiff, and I'll go through that and try to explain why it seems that officially Anomaly has separated himself from Mauler. So who is Anomaly? Well, Anomaly is kind of infamous for putting out these very strong pro-prequel video series where he basically attacked a lot of YouTube content creators who were critical of the prequels, and he answered them back with a lot of harsh criticisms. The videos were erratic, but I do think overall they were strong. They made a lot of good points, and they caught the attention of the EFAP, and so they set up a debate with Anomaly. And Anomaly had two debates on the EFAP officially, one with Glib and Sitch, and Rick Worley was on his side. But it kind of degenerated. A lot of people hate that podcast. They really hate that episode. I actually think it's one of the best podcasts that the EFAP ever did, but that's me. And I was there when it happened. I was actually in the chat when it happened live. There was that, and then he also talked to Mauler with Attack of the Clones and Rags, and they went through that. And it seemed like a more friendly conversation. It really wasn't a debate. It was just them going through the movie. So it seemed that EFAP, Anomaly, and Mauler were friends, but then something really major happened. And this is, as far as I know, what occurred. And this is where SK and Southpaw come in. So essentially there was a watch party, I think a Spider-Man film. It went fine enough. Anomaly wasn't very impressed. He's always been pro-Raimi. He thinks the Raimi trilogy is a masterpiece. I agree with him on that, just like I agree with him mostly on the prequels, but I do have more critical stance to both of them than he does. He had the watch party. I'm not sure who struck first, whether it was SK or Anomaly, but essentially SK and Anomaly went at it. And this is where it gets critical. Southpaw apparently was seeing something with Mauler, and he was watching this thing go down on Twitter, and then he intervened. Southpaw and SK attacking Anomaly. They went back and forth, and it culminated with Anomaly doing something very serious, which was, I think, pretty over the line. And again, I'm not a big fan of the EFAP. I don't really like those people. I think they're a bunch of pretty racist, horrible, fascist morons. However, what Anomaly did was pretty extreme. So Wolf, one of the EFAP hosts, basically intervened and said to Southpaw, said, listen, just calm down, tell Anomaly, because again, Anomaly idolized Wolf. He was his hero. He put out a video explicitly defending Wolf, and he was like, just talk to Anomaly, say, listen, I'm going to have a conversation with you. Let's just sort out this thing. Just calm down. And apparently Anomaly just got angry and told Wolf, who has mental problems, and these mental problems are public. He's talked about these many times. Anomaly told Wolf basically, and that was pretty over the edge. After that, Anomaly destroyed the Twitter account, but Southpaw took a lot of screenshots, and Thumbcast had a very, very long sorting out of what he said and how the back and forth went. And after that, Anomaly kind of went away for a while. He did put up a community post on his channel, and again, I do like Anomaly, although more recently he's become, unfortunately, more alt-right and very racist and sexist. He's not as bad as EFAP, he's not as bad as Geeks and Gamers, but it's getting bad. And on the community post, I'll be frank, I do like Anomaly, but he really didn't answer any questions. He was being very deceptive. He just said he took a holiday, he's going to take a break, and for a long time he put out no content. He just went silent. He came back, he's been doing a series of videos on Star Wars and the MCU, but only recently has he done streams again, and the streamers, and of course somebody asked the question, what's going on with you and Mauler?
AI call finally returns. Not quite yet. This was kind of like an impromptu stream. We just kind of went at it, and we'll see. Might have more AI cores later. Good. Nomz, what do I think of Mauler? Please don't tell me you don't know who he is.
Okay, no. Let's move on. This guy has been trying to do so. Let's move on.
I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, well, whatever. I'll just answer it.
No. Let's move on.
I can answer the question. It's not going to be a bad answer. I know who he is. I just haven't watched him in years and years because I lost interest in. I mean, I'm not fond of the guy, but like, you know, I used to watch his stuff and then I just kind of got over it and I haven't watched it since, and that's all it is really. So yeah, take that for what it is. And yeah, what's my yeah? Can we please talk about this actually? Thoughts on your DBZ announcement? I think I posted to you an Angel in the whatchamacallit, in the our group chat.
Well, this whole thing is a little confusing because in terms of the events, there really is not an issue between him and Mauler. There's an issue between him and Wolf. And although I do have a lot of issues and criticisms of Mauler, I would have to say his friendship with Wolf does seem genuine. It does seem like they have a real bond together. And I would presume Mauler was very offended with what Anomaly did. And Anomaly technically never apologized. He just said, well, this thing happened. We had some conversations. So, at least at this point, the EFAP community and the Anomaly community are separate. And he's made official he doesn't like Mauler or his content. Now that is where I say he is definitely lying, because I'm trying to find this, but he definitely gave a very positive comment on one of the Mauler videos attacking the sequels, and Disney of course, but I can't find it, so I don't know if he destroyed the comment or Mauler deleted it, but I'm pretty sure that happened. I'm pretty sure that's real. So turning against Mauler is very strange, because for a while he was very positive about Mauler's content, at least attacking Disney in the sequels. But Mauler has been inconsistent on the prequels. Sometimes he says they're all bad. Sometimes he says they're okay. Sometimes he says, well, I'm going to look at them again, etc., etc. So he's not consistent on the prequels. So at this point, it seems Anomaly and the EFAP are no longer allied, and that's the official stance with the channel. But again, we'll have to wait and see. And now that Southpaw and SK have their own scandal, guess who came in but the Fool Man, who is a friend of Anomaly, and said, wow, SK and Southpaw are really a bunch of liars. And I directly asked the Fool Man, what were the lies you're talking about? And as far as I know, he hasn't responded to me. So I think he knows who I am, and he knows I know the bigger background, so I'm not going to be fooled. So at this point, I guess they're having a lot of fun at Southpaw's recent downfall. But again, for the record, I do think Anomaly was more wrong than right with the Spider-Man debate they had. But the recent tiff between SK and Southpaw does expose that they're all very toxic grifters, which is unfortunate because they could have had a very principled stance with the prequels or EFAP or whatever, but it does seem they've all embraced the toxicity and are severely revising the record. And just to end it off, apparently Southpaw and SK have buried the hatchet on Twitter and say, we're moving on, please stop commenting on this. But given what they did with Anomaly, that's not going to happen. Apparently with Anomaly, he's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it either. They kept talking about it. So fair is fair. If you think the controversy is over, that's fine. The rest of us are not obligated to follow you. And that's where we stand.
Well, it's the whole thing of, is it detrimental to you? Like, if somebody very harshly says something that's true, you are detrimenting yourself if you are like, well, you were harsh, so go away, I'm not listening to that. Especially if you recognize it to be true.
The Gish Galloper won, and if the interlocutor decides to respond to some points but not all, then the Gish Galloper can accuse them of cherry picking. As such, it is the weapon of choice for an internet troll who sees debates as battles to be won in order to assert dominance, but doesn't